Trump withdrew from the Intermediate Range Nuclear Force (INF) on Friday. This comes just after he announced last June that he will start a space force. Trump said while introducing his plan, "Russia has already started, China has already started. They've got a start, but we have the greatest people in the world, we make the greatest equipment in the world, we make the greatest rockets, and missiles, and tanks, and ships in the world. We must have American dominance in space." He announced, and followed with, "Very importantly, I am hereby directing the Department of Defense and Pentagon to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a space force as the sixth branch of the armed forces." Stephen Lendman told Press TV in an interview on Saturday that the reason for pulling out of the treaty was to increase U.S. militarism, arms production and war-making. Trump pulled out of the INF treaty to give his regime unrestricted ability to increase its nuclear weapons, and other weapons, arsenals, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, nuclear weapons, unobstructed, Lendman said. "This is what U.S. presidents do. All of U.S. presidents have been pro-war. This is the way it is. This is the way the system is," he pointed out. Lendman said that Trump too was going along, so we will see an arms race. When he became president, he bragged about being unrestrained on spending as much money as possible to increase U.S. militarism and war-making, according to Lendman. Now the U.S. is more unrestrained, and doing whatever it wants, to expand its cruise missiles, its ballistic missiles, and its nuclear arsenal, he warned. Lendman added that the pretext for pulling out of the INF treaty was a big lie, claiming that Russia breached the agreement. The American researcher said that Russia had been breached it. "Russia has been in full compliance with its INF obligations," he said. Lendman said, on the contrary, the U.S. had consistently and repeatedly breached treaties and agreements. What the U.S. does is blame other countries for the crimes that it commits against other countries and their people, and this goes on repeatedly, Lendman said, adding, "Anyone paying attention to the world events knows this is going on. The U.S. has abandoned numerous agreements and treaties, and of course it is continuing to wage endless wars of aggression against non-belligerent countries," Lendman noted. Pulling out of the deals and treaties, according to Lendman, made what the U.S. wants worse, rather than better. Pulling out of the INF treaty has raised serious concerns among the advocates of arms control. "We at the Atlantis report we think that this is such an egregious waste of money. Russia is never going to attack USA. They do not have the manpower, they do not have the quantity of weapons, nor will to fight. We are witnessing military-industrial complex searching for a ways to loot U.S. taxpayers. Spending on systems that will never be used. Nuclear winter or the planet split in two because of massive underground thermonuclear explosions is not reasonable outcome. U.S. generals who think that some sort of bunkers could allow some survive should have their heads examined. This is what happens when psychopaths run the henhouse. The U.S. is already behind Russia in missile technology. We don't see the U.S. catching up anytime soon with Russian developments. To be thinking about a space arms race now is foolish when the American taxpayer can't afford to fund it either. Our space force will be as good as the F-35 program, I am sure. Just another way to rip off taxpayers." This was the Atlantis Report. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.